Here we are rolling along on this Monday afternoon. Talking a little Mets coming up in about 15 minutes with Ryan Finkelstein from the Locked On Mets podcast. But right now we're pleased to bring in our first guest of the day. And she is coming off the end of a spectacular career on the Syracuse track and cross-country courses. Pleased to welcome in Amanda Vestri right now. And Amanda, congrats on all the success and what you did last week in Austin. What's it like now here, sitting here, knowing your career is wrapped up within the last week?
Oh, thank you. And thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's super bittersweet. Obviously, I've loved my last 4 years here, and it's been one to remember for sure. And it's a little bit scary going into the unknown, but I think I've got some good, exciting things lined up. So I'm feeling confident about that, but definitely going to be sad to leave the orange for sure.
All right, take us into this last race. So it's less than a week ago. It was the last Thursday night in Austin. You're at the NCAA Championships. You're in the finals of the 10,000 meters. You come in seventh, which is good enough for first-team All-American, so congratulations on that. How'd you feel the race went? Only the runner herself can know how it went according to you. How did that race go down as you were out there your last time on the track?
Man, well, I think I came in with the expectations of, hoping to get a top 5 finish and improve on my indoor race, but man, that Texas heat is something else. It was really hot, and everyone had to run through those conditions, but yeah, super tough last 6 laps for sure. And I probably could have used with some sauna training or something like that before the race. But overall, I think it was a good race. I gave it a really, really good effort, and I was super proud of the effort for sure.
It's interesting you bring that up, Amanda, because the national championships, they obviously move around. I mean, often they've been out in Oregon over the years. I think it was Martin Haher, I believe, predated your time at Syracuse at least a little bit. He had allergies to the grass out there, so he never ran well at the championship meet. How does the location affect that? Because you're right. I'd imagine, say, a Texas or a Florida runner's at a significant advantage when the championships are in Austin like they were.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A couple of years ago when I went to the outdoor championships, it was in Eugene, Oregon. And, obviously those conditions were a little bit better suited for a runner like myself. But the Austin, I ran 4 years ago. My first NCAA outdoor meet was in Austin, and I guess I should have learned my lesson from that race. But yeah, it was the humidity and the heat was pretty insane. But hopefully, the more I race in climates like that, the better I'll get at it. So.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do training for that in Syracuse, right? Sure. I don't know exactly what you're supposed to do about something like that, huh? Amanda Vestri is our guest of Syracuse track. And Amanda, you were not the only orange down there. Jaheim Hales did great, coming in third in the 110 meter hurdles. What's it like for you, watching your teammates at events like that and, rooting them on when you can't do anything to affect his performance at that point?
Yeah, I think we're almost more nervous than the athlete who's competing at the moment is, because, you just want them to do so well. And, Jaheim came in fourth at the indoor national meet, and so I know he wanted to improve upon that placing, and he outdid himself again. And I have no doubt that he'll be beating that performance too at some point in the future. So I was really, really proud of him, and it was really awesome seeing him do so well. And anytime you get top 3 in the country, at a meet of this level is just absolutely incredible. So it's very special watching it. And as athletes, we all see each other working day in and day out. So it's a really cool moment for sure.
Yeah, and he was in, a photo finish between second and third. Your event's not really a photo finish event very often. How different is that to see those photos? Like watching it live, he was, he was on TV anyway. His lane was at the bottom of the track. It was almost hard to see him on TV. How tough is it to see what's going on in a race like that?
For a race like Jaheim's, it's really intense. And, when he crossed the line, we had to wait for the results to pop up on the big screen, because we thought he could have gotten it almost, because it was that close. But he's got a really good lean. So we thought that, maybe he even snubbed second or first. So, but third is just incredible, top 3 in the country. So very intense watching it. And I didn't see Dave watching the race, but I'm assuming he was, jumping up and down out of his chair. So. Yeah.
I'd say, hey, over the last decade or so, we've seen a lot of great hurdlers like Jaheim and a lot of great distance runners like yourself, both on the men's and women's side of things. And Amanda Vestri is our guest here, just wrapped up her collegiate career, much more to come from her in the future. But you had, I would guess, what is kind of turning into a typical collegiate career here of late, right, Amanda? You had a transfer in your career. You dealt with the COVID. You got the extra COVID year. How do you put this all in perspective the last 6 years, where I guess after it, you've had basically every possible experience that could have existed?
Pretty much every possible experience, from injuries to the COVID to transferring. I've had, a wide range of highs and lows, and I honestly wouldn't trade it for the world. But when I look back on it, 6 years does seem like a long time to be in college. So I think it's definitely time to move on. But I would say to anyone out there, though, who does have a year, I would just take it, because a year ago today, I was, considering coming back for a 6-year for my medical red shirt. And I was looking at the pros and cons, and one of the biggest cons of not coming back would have been, the big what if. And had I not come back this year, I wouldn't be a 2-time All-American, first-team All-American. So I would definitely just say go for it to any athlete out there who does have the option to take it, for sure.
Yeah, I'd say we found, I think, I don't know if it's everybody, but I'd say more are taking the maximum available years than not. And obviously the COVID thing has thrown an added wrench in that for everyone in college now. Amanda, what's it like when you get into an age gap type thing? I always find this interesting because you're 23, 24 now. You're on the same team with 18-year-olds. How strange is that? Or what is the ability for you all to come together as one team in that scenario?
I think in the scope of the NCAA track and field environment as a whole, it's not super strange to be 23 years old, because there are people on different teams who are as old as 26 or 27. So due to certain eligibility reasons, or going away on missions and things like that. So it's actually not uncommon to see someone is 3 or 4 years older than myself, which seems crazy. It wouldn't seem like they have any eligibility, but the way the NCAA works, you can be old and still be in it. So I would say for sure it's definitely a different dynamic when you're a 6-year on the team and you have a freshman coming in. You may not really get to know them as well as you'd like, but I think we do a pretty good job here of at least trying to kind of bond with everyone. And certainly most of my best friends on the team are a couple of years younger than me. So I think it all kind of works together eventually. Age is just a number. So whether you're 21 or 18 or 20, it doesn't really matter.
And I always say this: if somebody's going to say, "All right, you can stay here, you've got your degree, you can go to grad school, and we're going to pay for it," like that's a pretty good deal. Also, how did you take advantage of all this on the academic side of thing the last couple of years working toward a master's?
Yeah, I mean, I was in a program for academic advising, and I got the honor to work with Kathy Engstrom, and she was just a wonderful mentor throughout the past year for me. So it was really special. And yeah, I think, obviously we're pretty spoiled here, getting that degree paid for is pretty cool, and used it to my advantage. So for sure, it was not a bad idea.
And you said, as Amanda Vestri is our guest, that, hey, the time was going to come, whether it be last year or this year, that the real world does beckon now. What is next for you? Are you pursuing pro track, or what's the plan going forward?
Yes. Yeah, I am going to keep running and pursue the professional track realm, whether that's road racing or anything like that. So we're going to have to get some things figured out within the next month or so. But yeah, definitely still the dream. Dream never stops. So if I'm lucky enough, hopefully we'll make it happen.
How tough is it to break into that realm going forward?
I haven't done it yet, so I'm not completely positive, but from my old CUSE alum or teammates, I've been getting some good guidance from them. I talked to Paige Stoner quite a bit, who's now a professional runner. She was the U.S. marathon champ. So I've got good people in my corner to kind of help guide me through the process. My coach guides me through the process. And I think it just takes a little bit of time, but I think you need to have, a pretty good resume as far as times and places and things like that. But, ultimately it's, if you want it, got to go work for it and kind of just get in there and see what you can do. Mix it up with the pros.
Yeah, you mentioned Paige, and obviously, she kind of predated you and led to this. Justin Knight obviously has had great success. Katie Safaris in the last Olympics was a medalist in the triathlon. The fact that there has been success from your sport at Syracuse, have you noticed that, opening more potential doors for you getting into this pro run?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, 100%. By far, that's been the biggest thing that I've been having in the back of my head that's kind of helped me stay calm throughout this process and be confident that it will work out, because, connections are a pretty big thing in this sport. And, Paige especially has been super, super helpful through the process, and a lot of people love and respect her, and she's obviously an incredible talent. So to have someone like her in your corner it's only going to help. So, all those CUSE alum are hugely impactful for, us, the current CUSE people that are trying to break into that professional scene.
Yeah, I'd bet it's been awesome to watch your success here over the last 4 years at Syracuse and your whole collegiate career. Best of luck going forward, and thanks so much for hopping on for a few minutes today.
Thanks so much, Brian.
That is Amanda Vestri. Just wrapped up a multiple-time first-team All-American Syracuse University career. Not many get to say that, regardless of sport. And Amanda checked that box for a second time, coming in 7th at the outdoor 10,000 meters less than a week ago. So congratulations to her, and best of luck going forward, breaking into that pro track world. Hey, you get into it, then it's kind of on you in a lot of ways. You got to be there and run fast. Duh. That's oversimplifying it times about 1,000. But best of luck to Amanda going forward. One of the best track and field athletes, male or female, to ever grace the doors at Syracuse. With that, we'll take a break. Amanda, very good at what she does. The Mets stink. We'll talk Mets with Ryan Finkelstein when we come back after this on QSportsTalk.com and ESPN Radio.